Right, guys, you all right? Right, welcome to episode 7 of the podcast, BM podcast. Talking about taxi-related, car-related stuff from the previous week, really, and just generally just having a gab and stuff like that. So this is episode 7. Now, before I start, obviously, I don't know if you're aware, I've started a membership program, YouTube membership program for members-only content. You get access to a members-only WhatsApp group and a few other bits and bobs. Now, we've been talking about this, and I don't know if we're going to do it yet, but we might do an episode on the podcast just for members only, because it's not punishing the people who watch stuff for free, but it's more rewarding the people who are supporting my channel. And going forward, obviously, that's fantastic. If you want to become a member, just click the link below the YouTube video called Join and get all the perks and stuff like that. And it helps to support myself and the channel in itself. So we've got a few subjects to talk about today, a few bits and bobs, some of them quite fun, some of them a bit mad. But obviously, as per usual, to start off with, I had a Manchester Airport run this morning, going from Widnes to Manor in the bus. And then I come back here. I just went to the gym. That's why I look all steamy and sweaty. I just went to the gym, and now I'm here filming the podcast. So I had a busy day yesterday, but I've got a quiet day today, but all about the editing. Now I'm going to start off with one. I'm going to go with Mark. And I'm going to be back. I'm going to close the window because the neighbour's dog is barking and it's doing me head in and it's distracting me. So, Mark, continue.
What does it want me to talk about? Now, I did a Leeds Bradford go from Sheffield and went across to Manchester, come back. And then had an hour in bed. Then took wife to work. And then I thought I'd do an hour and a half an Uber before I did this. And I didn't have one job.
One job on Uber?
I got offered a job that was exclusive for me, that we're 13 mile away, I think we're going 4 mile for a tenner. So I thought now. And I had a trip radar, and that's all I had. So in an hour and a half, I did zilch.
Wow. How about yourself, Beth?
What's Leeds for you, Denmark? Is that like 40 minutes, 45 minutes?
Yeah, about an hour.
Yeah, a little bit longer.
It's not far, but it's about an hour because it's going through the city and townships.
Yeah.
It's a bit of a nightmare to get to.
Yeah. For me, I've had 8 o'clock JLA. I've got another 12 o'clock JLA. Then I've got to land at Manchester at 1:30. And then I've got 5 to 1 in the morning, and that's me done. And then I've got a day off tomorrow, or an early start on Friday. I think I've got pretty early start. No, it's only a 6 a.m. start, which is an early on Saturday, and then a 4 a.m. start on Sunday. So yeah, still kicking ass, so to speak. Them early mornings.
Yeah. I still don't work those dead hours, mate. Minging. Talking about Uber, Mark. This week, I've seen a little update. So I don't know if you know, you probably know, back in the day, you'd wait at the airport for hours. You get to the front of the queue, you get 3 offers, you get taken offline, you go back online, and you're at the back of the queue. So quite stressful. You could go 4 quid, 4 quid, 4 quid, back of the queue. That's what it used to be like. It was a pain. And then a couple of years ago, they updated it, where you wait in the queue for hours, you get to the front of the queue, and then you can sit there all day and just cherry pick and wait for a good job that suits you, and then you go on your day. Uber's just released this week that they've now stopping it. I've confirmed from a lot of times who work the airport. So you can wait 2, 3, 4 hours to get to the front of the queue, and then you might only have up to 5 offers. And then it'll pop up, and it'll just say, it seems that you're not accepting work. Get to the back of the queue. So now I can see, from an operator standpoint, it is kind of right. You shouldn't really be cherry picking at the front, and all the other drivers are waiting or getting scrap offers. But from a driver's point of view, you're waiting 3, 4 hours, and then you might get a £5 job. It's a bit rough, like, do you know what I mean? I might cut down the queue, make the queue smaller. But how about Mick? What's your reckon of that, mate? Because we work the airport a lot, so
I think it should be. I think they're right in doing it. As much as it doesn't suit us drivers, we can't. It goes back to that. We can't moan about, like last week we talk about Uber feeding drivers, and this is exactly this is exactly the same kind of thing. Drivers trying to be fed. So we can't moan that drivers, if Uber does that, if we're going to sit at the front of the queue and try and cherry pick and just want the cream, basically. Everyone wants the cream.
Yeah.
Oh, do you know what I mean? But I think it's a good thing. It's a bit of a pain in the ass, but it is what it is, isn't it? It's, at the end of the day, it'll make things fairer, won't it?
Yeah, because
For the lad,
when you
if
get
you're
in front of the queue,
if you're
Go on.
sitting second, third, and fourth, you're not going to accept anything that's coming over to you because it's pretty much shite anyway.
crap.
Because the first one in front, or the lad, the two in front, or three in front of I've said no to it. So why is the fourth lad going to want it? Oh, now I suppose you're waiting at further back in the queue. Get it there, get back, and you're back in pretty much your position. But yeah, it is. It's. I think it's a good move. Like I say, we can't moan about drivers Uber feeding top low cancellation rates, and then moan about us wanting to
Be fed.
not being able to be fed at the airport. Do you know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
I think it's a good move. It should be. That's the way it should be.
What do you reckon, Mark? Because obviously I know you drop off at Manchester privately, and you're not allowed in the queue, are you? You're banned
Now,
because
not
you're
allowed
not
now.
in the region.
Yeah, the only one I'm allowed to log on is Leeds Bradford, but I've never ever picked up from there. But I don't know. So explain to me, how does it work then? So at the moment you can cherry pick, yeah. So if you're at the front of the queue, say I don't want that, 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 don't want, and they're going to change it now. After 5, you're going to get put to the back of the queue.
Approximately, yes. So you used to be able to get to the front of the queue, which could take hours, by the way. Manchester Airport, I've waited 3 hours doing like content on the channel to get to the front of the queue, and then you'll get the first dibs. And I normally used to wait for one to take me back to Liverpool, so I'd even deny like big jobs just to get back to Liverpool. But yeah, as soon as you get to the front of the queue, you can wait, and then once you're at the front of the queue, then you get like first refusal, more or less.
And you could like just reject any you want and just stay there until you get the one that you want. But now they've changed it to if you reject it, you get put to the back.
Yeah, like it used to be.
Yeah, it's a bit hard luck though, isn't it? If you waiting 2 hours for a job and you get there and it's like a tenner, you'd be a bit wounded, wouldn't you? But it's that risk you take for sitting there, because I've been in that holding area and I've got to admit though, the last probably month or so, it's been very, very quiet in there. So I wonder if has it already started then or not?
Yeah, started, yeah.
Because normally it's really, really chocker in there. But last month it hasn't. So it is what it is, isn't it? Unfortunately.
Think about it. People like go there and have a 2-3 hour nap, catch up, wake up, and then they're at the front of the queue. Do you know what I mean? And then they'll sit there all day and wait for a really good juicy job to crack on. Do you know what I mean? I'm guessing that's how like it'd go. But now, because of this new rule now, you could be waiting 3 hours, and then like you said, 4 quid, 6 quid, 9 quid, 10 quid, 11 quid. Sorry, mate, back to the queue. Do you know what I mean? Obviously, you still could get a big job in that, on 3-4 offers. By the way, I don't know if it's 5 jobs, by the way. I don't know. I've just been told you got kicked off after 5. I think it just depends on the Uber system.
Lad at the airport I spoke to before, it was only just before when I was picking up, he said it's 5. Yeah, but he said he gets knocked off after 5 every time. So it must be 5, but obviously you don't want to take that chance. If an half decent one comes in while you're sitting there, yeah, you might take the 1 or 2 chance. Do you know what I mean? If a 3 and a 4 quid comes up, no. And then on the next one, if you've sat there for that long, you might as well take it, mightn't you? At the end of the day. Also, is another thing to touch on it, is Hackneys can't do it. If they're ranking up, get to the front of the rank and go. That's the way they work, do you know what I mean? They'll sit on a rank for however long and get to the front of the queue. If you're sitting in Lime Street, or if you're sitting at the airport and it goes round to the Hilton Hotel in town rather than something out of town, or even round to the Hilton in Speak. Do you know what I mean? They go there.
Do they have a thing though? Because I know Heathrow has. If you pick up and you take someone within the vicinity of it, you can go back and be back at the front of the queue again. Do they do that with Uber or not?
No, I don't think so.
No. So what happens is if you're dropping off at the airport on an Uber job, so you pick up an Uber passenger and you drop off at Manchester, I think you get a first dibs.
Right. Okay.
You know what I mean? So you might get a job offer, like going in, like a little priority. You can't sit there cherry picking nothing like that. I think they offer you 1 or 2 as you're going in the terminal. Do you know what I mean? It's like, yeah, it's half for dropping off our customer. Here's a little offers. But I wanted to touch, by the way, on the Hackney one. I know one of the lads that was waiting years to get into the Hackney rank at Liverpool Airport. So I've heard it's a queue. There's a waiting list. There's a limit of drivers. Not all can get in it. Quite a big ordeal. And I spoke to him last week about it, and he said that exactly that, Mick. He said you could be wait there for an hour and a half, yeah, and take a £7 job to the Premier Inn round the corner. Yeah. Or you could get a Chester for 60, 70 quid or whatever. He went, it is completely luck based, but he can't cherry pick. But one thing I wanted to touch on with the Hackney as well, Mick brought it up. Heathrow is come out and said they're going to trial or at least look into going down a virtual rank like Uber has. So we're at the moment now, you just say you've got 300 Hackneys in Liverpool Airport, no more. Yeah, registered. If a Hackney driver comes from Liverpool and drops off at Liverpool Airport, but he's not part of the rank, he can't rank up and get one back. He's got to drive out and go back to the city or whatever. So a lot of Hackney drivers say it's unfair because they're the same. They're still a Hackney driver, but they can't get on the rank. They're unfair. So what Heathrow's looking at trying to do, allow all Hackneys to be allowed to rank, but like virtually. And then if they get a job to Heathrow, they could maybe get the first dibs to take one back out to keep the wheels moving. Do you know what I mean? Type of like a virtual ranking system. I don't know how it's going to work. I just read something about it the other day. But I thought that was a bit mad. Virtual Hackney rank.
It'll probably be an app thing, won't it?
Yeah, it's got to be on it.
You're going in when like I say, if I'm a Hackney driver and I'm driving from central London into Heathrow, you probably put on that you're entering Heathrow Airport, so then you enter the queue, don't you?
Yeah, I reckon it'll be similar to Uber's.
Yeah,
it'll be a holding area instead of a rank.
Yeah,
and you'll have like a virtual crew, one to 6, 1 to 7.
Hard though, because I know a few black cabs that do Heathrow, and then what they do is they queue up and they get told what terminal they have to go to. Do you know what I mean? So when they drive into a central, I don't know how they do it. They go into a central thing, and when they get there, they get told, right, you're at terminal 3. They allow, I don't know how true it is, but if say like they let 20 black cabs go into terminal 3, terminal 5, terminal 2, and that's the terminal that you go to.
Yeah.
And then once you pick up, so you go and do what you do and come back if you want. But how are they going to do the virtual one? Is it going to be the same sort of thing? Like you're at terminal 3, or is it all just one big? There you go. You're near terminal 5, but get to terminal 1. It could take you about 25 minutes to get round.
I'm guessing it'll be virtual. I'm pretty sure any app can replicate a human being going, hey, go to terminal 1. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
What do you reckon, Mick?
I think it's a good idea for them. Gives them something done it. And I mean, but it feels like it can be manipulated a hell of a lot. Do you know what I mean?
What, the app?
Yeah, I don't know how. We'd have to wait and to see how it came out and how it works and everything. But it feels like it could be manipulated. It depends. Maybe you'd have to be in a certain radius of the airport to be active in the rank, or I don't know. Maybe something along the lines will be.
You can do GPS as well.
But if you would, like, I don't know how far's Heathrow from London city centre.
Not far, is it? 20, 30 miles, is it?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Far. If you're I don't know, working the city next to Heathrow somewhere or whatever, and then you plank yourself on the airport rank while you're working a supermarket round the corner or something. Do you know what I mean?
I think it's going to have to be. Yeah, I think it's going to be it's got to be like a mile, 2 mile away. The thing is, Heathrow is massive, isn't it? It's huge.
Yeah.
So to drive round it, what would you say it is? 5 mile round it? More than that? 10 mile? You know, like if you've got like I don't know, like a loop round. Would you say it's about 10 mile round?
But the perimeter itself.
Yeah.
You put a circle round it, you mean?
Yeah,
Yeah.
so it's
Yeah,
like
I'd
the
say
vicinity.
5-10 mile maybe.
So anyone with inside that, like, I don't know, so imagine it's London, you've got the Heathrow, the circle round, not Heathrow, what do you call it, M25. Anyone inside the M25 would become the virtual queue.
It's similar to Uber, isn't it? Like you at Manchester Airport, you can get in the queue in the private high waiting area, or near the little butty van, or onto a little side street. So there's loads of little places. So they've got like a little blanket GPS thing, and as long as you're within that range, you're in the rank. So they might do that the same for the Hackneys, or wherever the Hackneys sit now to wait to go onto the ranks. That might be the virtual queue, and then it'll ping up on the phone. Go to Terminal 1, please. Go to Terminal 5, please. And then they all queue up in their respective terminals, and then it becomes a rank then. So it's a virtual queue to get into each terminal lane, maybe, or something like that.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Who knows, eh? Who knows? I have to just wait until more information comes, really, innit?
Maybe you can do with
wait
that.
till it's around and see how it works to make a judgment on whether it'll be good. But it does sound like a good idea. It saves, I don't know, maybe they're just thinking about congestion in the airport and the ranking lining up and everything, aren't they?
It'd be good for a Hackney driver if anyone's watching who does Hackney down there. You know, leave a comment. Tell you what. Do you know what I mean? Tell us what actually happens down there. No one knows. Do you know what I mean? No one knows until a Hackney driver tells us.
No.
Yeah, that's a good point, that, because what you call it, I was thinking as well, it is fair, because I know, obviously, with the Hackneys, it's a lot of old school, you know what I mean? A lot of Hackney drivers will probably be using pen and paper to record, you know, the trips and the journeys. Still very old school, aren't they, the Hackneys? And yeah, I think it'd be quite fair. Do you know what I mean? Like if you're a Hackney driver and you're in London and you can't work one of the biggest airports in the UK, do you know what I mean? Because you're not allowed. Same with Liverpool. There's loads of Liverpool Hackneys that can't work Liverpool Airport because it's full or there's a queue or whatever.
I was going to say there must be that queue must have only just come in, because I believe it wasn't a queue. You have to pay to be able to work there. That's what I heard. It was for the Hackneys. I didn't know there was a queue and a waiting list.
Yeah, so you've got to pay. You've got to pay to use it, but you get that money back, I think, from the customer, like an annual fee, like 50 quid a year or something like that. It's not major, but the wait is the waiting list. I think it's like a one in, one out vibe. Do you get me?
Yeah.
And you're on a waiting list. Like the lad I know, we're not going to mention him because don't get him out in public, but he's been waiting for like over 12 months to get on that, or even longer, I think.
Blimey.
You know what I mean? So yeah, but listen, another big point is Liverpool. To be honest, a lot of new updates lately is coming from Liverpool Council. So I don't know if they're trying to lead the way to be a bit more strict or whatever, but I think there's a few other councils that do this already. But Liverpool, as of I think early this year or late next year, have started random drug testing drivers. But you know where when we're driving on the streets and you get your swabs and you get your breathalyzers? This time, Liverpool Council will say, as an example, Mick will send a letter to Mick and say it's Monday. Say come in by Wednesday, 9 a.m. in the office for your drug test, and then you've got to give a valid reason, like I'm on holiday or whatever, and then they'll give you one more randomly again, and then you'll revoke. Well, what have they? You'll revoke your license if you don't get the second time done, because obviously you're trying to hide it. Do you know what I mean? I know you've got nothing to hide, but I know a lot of lads who like a weekend split or whatever. Do you know what I mean? And like they're completely safe to drive on like Tuesday. It's all out the system, but like from a test point of view, it's still in your system, but it's not affecting you. Do you know what I mean? So I don't. It's a bit of a heavy one, innit? Do you know what I mean? But like obviously, I don't believe anyone should be driving around off the barney or stoned. Do you know what I mean? But I'm pretty sure, especially like a hair follicle or a urine test, that stays in your system for ages, doesn't it? Do you know what I mean? So what do you reckon of that? Does your Sheffield does any testing like that?
No.
No, you've never been drug tested?
Oh, no. No, I've never. No, I've not heard anyone. Obviously, when you get pulled over by the police to do your drug test, whatever, but that happens to Joe Public, didn't it? But nothing
Yeah.
actually specific to taxis. Obviously, I know a few people that do lorries and that lot, and they always get tested, drug and alcohol tests. But I suppose it's a good thing, isn't it? Really, anything's good, really, to bring it in. It's probably be a bit inconvenient for the driver because, especially if they, I don't know, if they say to you, you have to come between these dates, Monday to Wednesday, but then you've got it might take you up to 2 hours or something like that.
Yeah.
It's 2 hours work, and it's inconvenient. But I suppose it's a good thing. It gets the idiots off the road, doesn't it?
The ones that are smashing limo in between fares, isn't there?
Yeah.
What do you reckon, Mick?
I'm surprised it took this long for them to do it, to be totally honest.
Yeah. And why aren't all people doing it?
Yeah, it was going to happen when it was bound to happen, and I'll be probably honest, probably lose a lot of drivers over it. To be fair,
yeah,
I'm not gonna lie,
I reckon Liverpool Council's going in doing his testing.
Yeah, I used to be a weed. I used to love the pot myself. Do you know what I mean? But that was back when.
Wow. Seriously, Mick, yeah, that surprised me, that, Mick.
Did it really? Why did you say that? Come on, you can't just say that and don't. You'll get me swearing. Stop it. Hey, why'd you say that? Why'd you say that?
Oh, look, look.
No, I used to. I used to be bad when I was in my teenagers, early 20s. I used to smoke a lot of weed, you know what I mean? But yeah, I went to Amsterdam and came back and stopped.
Oh, Harry.
What did you do to Whitey?
I reckon it was about, it's got to be over 10 years now I've stopped smoking weed. Yeah, it was early 20s, definitely.
Yeah, it is mad, isn't it? But yeah, so, I think myself personally, I think it's a good thing. I really do, because like I said, my wife, my kids are in taxis and stuff like that, and you don't want someone stoned or off the bonnet or dangerous driving at all. We are responsible for people, and obviously the Joe Public. Do you know what I mean? This morning I took a family of 6 with young kids in the car. Do you know what I mean? Imagine if I had to split last night or like smashed the ale in and I was hungover. It's not worth it, mate. It's not worth it. The crashes are flipping terrible. Do you know what I mean? Well, listen, talking about this, right, as you give me an idea. So I think there's one in Wolverhampton and it's plated and it's a Lamborghini. Someone told me about it the other day when I done the original video on my YouTube channel. So Liverpool started plating 2-seater taxis. So the driver and a passenger and no rear seats. So like a Porsche Boxster hardtop or like a smart car and stuff like that. So from a private booking standpoint, so like if you own your own airport transfer company and you got a job come through and it's one passenger, one suitcase, I can see the market, businessmen, often cheap fares because it's a cheap car to run. I get that. But you couldn't work for local taxi companies. You couldn't work for Uber because they're up to 4 passengers and you never know how many passengers you're going to get in a car. So you could only do it privately. So let me go with Matt. If you were going to get a 2-seater car plated, why would you? And what would it be?
I wouldn't. Because why would you? What? Why? The only way I can think of is this: if it's a niche market, you know, like you're saying, I don't know. What are 2 seaters these days? Like Porsche 911s, you can still squeeze people in the back, but they're classed as 2, really, aren't they?
Yeah.
So, my favourite car, Porsche 911. So I would, if I want to go somewhere, I don't know, and then you'd be going on your own, aren't you? You'd be going with a driver and you're on your own. Now. See is that in Liverpool?
Yeah.
You say that, and and the last topic we were just talking about, you're saying that Liverpool's probably the hub of things happening. So whatever comes out of Liverpool must be shocking. Is this just some nutter in there just trying to work out what's what? And you know what I mean? Just right, let's do this today. Be horse and carriage soon, wouldn't it?
So the old watch driver, Matty.
Other councils actually plate 1 to 8 vehicles. You know, seats. They always do it. It's not like you don't restrict. So technically, they're not going out and advertising, let's plate two-seater cars. But what they're saying is, the council is saying is, we'll plate up to 8 seats. Do you know what I mean? So if the car's worthy, like, even if it's a one-seater, I don't know why, or it doesn't make much sense. Like I said, if you're, like, into business, if I was a chauffeur, yeah, and maybe there's a small niche of businessmen with a briefcase going to business meetings and, like you said, in a flipping Porsche or a two-seater Beamer or a CLK Merc or whatever, or SLK Merc, sorry. Do you know what I mean? There's loads of little two-seaters that you can use. And I get it. Do you know what I mean? But I just, it's such a restrictive, isn't it? People say a car is restrictive doing the airports because you haven't got a minibus. And then you're going to restrict yourself to one passenger. What do you reckon, Mick?
Does this mean they're going to start plating 3-door cars?
No.
That's true.
Oh, yeah. Well, no. The 3-door car, obviously, will be a two-seater, wouldn't it? So you couldn't do a 3-door car and have 4 passengers. Do you know what I mean? And also, they won't do convertibles either. I asked that when I heard about it. I said, what about it's going to be hardtop? They won't do convertibles, and I'm assuming they won't do three doors with passengers because that's just stupid. But they do two-seaters, which is obviously, you know what I mean? So what do you reckon? Would you get one, Mick?
No. Why would you buy a 2-seater car for a taxi? You just limit yourself. I don't get it. Honestly, I don't see what's the benefit? Are you going to give me it for free?
I don't know.
I don't get it.
I don't know.
I don't get it. I don't see the logic in it.
Go on, Mark. What are you saying?
Wherever you've read this or someone's told you, it must be on a wind-up.
So Wolverhampton actually do it. They've actually got a plate.
They do it.
Wolverhampton do it. I'm pretty sure there's a Lamborghini, a Wolverhampton Lamborghini. I'm pretty sure. Right, and obviously I'm in the middle of doing my part 2.
Yeah.
And it was the guys that run the part 2 who's involved with the council and stuff. Right. They said that they heard about it.
So it's targeted. It's targeted. It's going to be targeted at certain customers, isn't it? So it's going to be targeted, like, I don't know, famous people. I don't know.
One person want to go to the airport.
Going to doing whatever I want to impress. I don't know. I'm going to going to a business meeting. I want to impress and turn up in a Porsche.
Tinder date.
Yeah, well, you can't. Well, yeah, turn up. That's it. The girl can't get into it, can she? Unless you sit in your lap, then it's illegal, isn't it?
Imagine that, though. Imagine that. Go on.
This is what I was on about. The Lamborghinis, the 3-door cars. So,
yeah,
we're laughing at. Yeah, the 3-door cars.
But you can't have it. You can't have a.
What?
If you can't have a 5-door 2-seater car, can you? They've got. If it's a 2-seater car, they've got to be. It's got to be 3-door, hasn't it? Because you can't have a 5-door.
This is what I'm saying to you, though. If they're saying, okay, yeah, fine, no problem. If a Lamborghini rolls up, no problem. We'll put a plate on the back of it for you. But if I want to take my Corsa that's only got 3 doors and got 4 passengers, they're going to tell me no.
Yeah. I'd say so, because you can't get in the back.
Because it's a safety thing and all.
Because you have to open the door and move the seat forward in a Lamborghini to get in the back.
No, you can't, because that's what I'm saying. You don't get in the back of the Lamborghini.
Oh, I see what you mean. I see what you're getting at now.
Yeah,
type of cars with
passengers.
Yeah, I see what you mean. So you did. Yeah.
So
does that mean that the 3-door cars can get a plate but just for 2 passengers?
Possibly, I don't know, mate. We're opening a can of worms up here, aren't we? Because we're going to have 3-door courses on Overton.
Look at Knowsley and Liverpool before Liverpool changed the law. That we used to have to at Liverpool. Used to have you in the middle bench on buses. You had to think it. I can't remember the name for it now.
What, conference seating?
Yeah, you weren't allowed forward facing seats in the middle bench. You had to have it turned round to be passed to get licensed for 8. So does that mean a Corsa with 3 doors can go and get a license for 2 passengers?
Don't know, but on a point to that, mate. The main reason I moved from Sefton to Liverpool was for that reason. What's up, Mick? Because with that, with the minibus on Sefton, hey, he couldn't have a waters of paper tonight as a flipping pen. Oh, it's so pixelated. Oh, that.
It would be. It
I
would
don't
be.
know if you know, guys. I
It
don't know
would
if you
be.
know.
It would be doing this.
I
What?
don't know if you know. You can't have vapes or like underage or overage stuff on like streams on certain platforms. You can't have vapes and you can't have coffee and stuff or Red Bulls. Do you know what I mean? And a mixer pulled up his pen. I was like, oh, he's vaping. No, it was a pen. I do apologise. Yeah. So Sefton, as an example, my i800 is all forward-facing seats. You can't have them conference. So I couldn't get the i800 license for 7 passengers with Sefton. It's one of the reasons why I moved to Liverpool, because they allow it. So with Sefton, if you have to move a seat out the way or another passenger out the way to get in, you can't have those seats used. Because what they say is if everyone's died in the middle row, I don't know how, but the rear row won't be able to get out, will they? They'll be trapped. So that's where Sefton's ruling comes in. So that's where I wanted to add on to Mick with the 3-seater Corsa. And obviously, when it comes to that, you know what I
That
mean?
ruling's gone now, though.
Yeah, for Liverpool, but it hasn't for Sefton.
Oh, Sefton's still doing that, are they?
I think so. That's why I moved from Sefton to Liverpool. One of the main reasons, because I wanted a cheap bus with forward-facing seats.
Ah, okay. Didn't know Sefton was still doing it.
Fun fact for you, fun fact. Wolverhampton's hit the news again. Listen, by the way, just to clarify, I get a lot of stick off Wolverhampton drivers when anything Wolverhampton news comes in. People are defending themselves. Listen, I'm not saying all Wolverhampton drivers are bad. All I'm trying to say, most of the news about a bad driver is a Wolverhampton driver. I'm not saying yous are all bad. The news is more or less pointing out that a lot of yous are bad, but not all of yous are bad. I wanted to get that little disclosure out there, yeah. So Wolverhampton is back in the news, right? Preston, which is 100 miles north of Wolverhampton, they were doing stop checks for private hire and taxis, stuff like that. And they stopped 100 cars with faults, or they've been taken off the road. 100 taken off the road, or just given faults and other disclosures and stuff like that. Fix this issue and all that. Out of those 100, every one was Wolverhampton plated, like every one. So what I want to say to yous, right? Should there be some type of blanket rule across all private hire councils to have some type of minimum requirements for like vehicle inspections or driver rules or something, or like knowledge sets? There's going to be something blanketing across the council, surely, because it can't be a coincidence that every in this obviously thingy, everyone was a Wolverhampton. And also one of the local councillors in Preston come out and said, if you're going to get an Uber, to be safe, make sure the Uber's registered with our council and not with out of town councils. That's what a local councillor said. What they're trying to say now is the Wolverhampton cars are not safe to get into when you're in Preston. What do you reckon?
For Preston to say that, why don't Preston just turn around and say, Wolverhampton, you can't work in Preston?
Cross-border hiring, mate. They're not breaking any rules being there. It's law that they're allowed to work there, and Uber's allowing it. You can't stop them locally because they're not breaking any rules. Do you know what I mean? Some of those Wolverhampton drivers in Preston could live and work and breathe and born and bred in Preston. Do you know what I mean? The Wolverhampton badge doesn't mean an out of town driver. There's a lot of them are.
This is going off. We talked about it a few podcasts back. Then what they should then need to do then is, if you live in Preston, you get the Wolverhampton badge, but they should only be able to give you the Wolverhampton badge if you live within that postcode, within that council.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? That's the only way around it. Anyway, that's gone off topic. But back to the cars. What's their policy on? Is it same as like Sheffield? It's 1 year compliance every year. On your badge runs out, going through a compliance test, like MOT or whatever it is, you pass it. Is that same as Wolverhampton, or is it every? Do we know?
I don't know.
they leave you to it? Once you got it, do they leave you to it? Or?
I think you can get them in cornflakes boxes, Mark. That's the only thing I can. That's my point on the thing. It's ridiculous, like Matty said. It can't be a coincidence why it's only Wolverhampton's that's been happened there. I mean, I've got no beef, like problem with Wolverhampton drivers, but when you're there, when you're hearing things like this, it's got to point back to the council. They're not doing enough, hasn't it?
But what can they do?
It's got to be from the roots.
Yeah, it's like in Sheffield. I'm going back to Sheffield again. They've brought a thing in now to register your car. It's got to be 4 years or less, right?
Wow.
I don't know what it's like in Liverpool, and I think your car has to come off after 9 years, and I think from 7 years, 6 months, or was it 8 years? Every 6 months it gets tested. I've got a Mercedes E-Class, and I think you're allowed to have it on things for 11 years, right? But I'm driving around Sheffield, and I see Wolverhampton cars that are 10, 11 years old.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So it's...
The one I was going to say to you, Mark, I'll add to that, mate, is that's why they're coming out and saying, oh, we're unsafe. I think Preston's a bit stricter as well, Wolverhampton. But I don't know much about other councils. But what I will say about Liverpool is Liverpool hasn't got an age limit. But once you hit over 8 years, yeah, you go on a 6 monthly test. Now,
so you can run around. You can have a 20-year-old car. You can have a 20-year-old car driving around in a 20-year-old car.
But it's got to be tested every 6 months now. Do you know what I mean? Where I think Wolverhampton drivers, if you're watching, please comment below, because I don't know much about it. But I'm pretty sure Wolverhampton doesn't have a 6 monthly on any age. I think it's just every 12 months. I might be wrong on that. I'm sure someone mentioned the other day that a lot of like 05, 06 Priuses, Wolverhampton, you see them all everywhere, don't you? They're the ones I think that are coming up with the faults. Because if you think about it, if you're not checking your tyres or not doing your due diligence as you should as a driver, then if you're only getting tested every 12 months on the older cars, the car could be unsafe. The driver doesn't know because he's not checking, and the council's not doing it more stricter. Thing like myself personally, I think yours is a bit too strict, Mark.
It was 5 years, but they've only just recently did it to 4 years.
I reckon that's what I'm trying to say though with different councils. I don't know why the government can't just come out and fix it all and go, right, every private hire car has to be tested 12 months. After 6 months, they've got to be that. Every car has got to be able to fit 4 adults in it. Do you know what I mean? Not 4 dwarfs like the Yaris's and the Golfs and the tiny little Fiestas. Do you know what I mean? They're going to have a look, just come out and just have a blanket rule. That's what we all need. Do you know what I mean? We should need like a little driving test or like a little mini knowledge test or something along those lines just to show you you're a competent guy. Do you know what I mean? Because they're not going to give a bus driver or a lorry driver, yeah, like half these taxi drivers, they're not going to give them a little license to drive a lorry or a bus either. You know what I mean?
I don't think it's so much. I don't think it's got to be down to the testing the MOT of the vehicles. I don't think it's so much the driver either, because how many times do you do a walk around your car, Matty?
Or honestly, hand on heart, never.
Do you know what I mean? But
I always have
if we see a low tire, we'll get it done. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
How many times? If we see a light bulb goes out, we'll get it done. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure let's say 50% of Wolverhampton lads are the same. Do you know what I mean? They'll be doing the same in a taxi. But for it to all just be Wolverhampton drivers seems a little bit far-fetched.
It's suspect.
Is Preston Council telling the truth? Do you know what I mean? There's still a little bit of grey area. But if it is the truth, then there's got to be a reason for it. And it, like I said before, it's got to point back to the MOT testing of the vehicles or the council rules. It's got to.
And that is a doubt, by the way. So for one, there is a lot of drivers out there that don't care, and there's loads of pictures circulating of drivers with slicks with no tread at all. You've seen them, haven't you? doesn't matter who the license with. The drivers out there that just jump in the car and go. They won't even look. And some of the stuff is dangerous, right? But for you to get a tyre that slick, you probably couldn't get that slick in 12 months. Surely not, anyway. But that's a question as well. If you're a Wolverhampton driver in Preston, where'd you get it MOT'd? Do you have to go back to Wolverhampton, or is the local places? Does anyone you two know, or maybe someone in comments?
Yeah, someone that
No,
hasn't
got it.
developed who's a Wolverhampton driver, because they
Yeah.
at the end of the day, Liverpool's you can use pretty much any MOT taxi testing centre you can use. Do you know what I mean? So maybe they can go to the one in Liverpool, but they've got to go down.
So,
Got to go down the council anyway, haven't they?
right, in Liverpool, did you say you can take your vehicle? Do you have to go to the council for the compliance test?
No.
No, go to an MOT
You can go to Gary's next door.
No, it's
Yeah,
got to be a verified. It's got to be approved MOT station by the council. Like,
Right. There's only one place in Sheffield that you can go to.
No, that's Knowsley in our area. They do their own MOT testing, but Liverpool and Sefton, they've got if garages can apply to be an MOT taxi sent to the council.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
so I take mine on Priory Road, and it was like for Liverpool, and it's a proper little backstreet garage. But he's been authorised by Liverpool to hand out the compliance tests. But with Sefton, I had to go to Berry Street, up in like Bootle, but that's a big famous one, isn't it, Mick? Everyone knows Berry Street. And they do shuttle cars, and also they do the compliance tests for Sefton. But yeah, they must have Wolverhampton MOT stations now in Liverpool. They've got to. Delta's got their own fleet of Wolverhampton cars. But
Delta's got their own garage, so they've probably applied for it to be an a testing centre for Wolverhampton as well.
Yeah, you just keep talking. I'm googling
it. They can't multitask.
Yeah, that's
right.
I wouldn't surprise me if you can get your MOT for Wolverhampton done by Delta. I don't know. Like I say, you'd have to have a look in the comments. If you're a Wolverhampton plated, let us know how you get your.
Yeah,
get your.
Definitely want to know that in the comments, please, guys. Because obviously, like I said, I always say on my YouTube channel, right? I always say that I come on here and I share things that I know. I come on here to learn as well, because I'm always interested in learning. And obviously, anything that I might help or guide you with any advice or anything you need, I come on here. But sometimes we don't know the answers. Like, I don't know. There's some of these answers coming up now. I haven't got a clue. I'm not licensed with Wolverhampton. I've never been to Wolverhampton. I drove past them when I went to Birmingham. You know what I mean? So, yeah, please, Wolverhampton legends, let us know in the comments. But like I said, I do want to clarify, guys, is when we bring up Wolverhampton, it's a hot topic, which causes, obviously, engagements on my channels. That's one point why obviously I mentioned Wolverhampton. Two, it's funny because it's like a bit of a meme. I do like bringing them up. They're funny, isn't it? But yeah, what I try and say is, not every Wolverhampton driver is a bad driver. Not every Wolverhampton driver in your city is driving up from Wolverhampton. You probably live and breathe there. You've just gone there for the quicker, easier test. Do you know what I mean? So no, not all Wolverhampton drivers are bad. Not all Wolverhampton drivers have dangerous cars. Do you know what I mean? But normally when you see a car going the wrong way on a one-way street, it's normally Wolverhampton. What are you saying? Oh, tell a lie. Dead quick. Did you see the Knowsley Council plated Uber in Blackpool? He flattened a barrier. So obviously he mustn't have knew where he was going. And he's got over the barrier, or he got caught on one of those pop-up barriers. And he was a Knowsley plated Uber working Blackpool. Fun fact for you. Blackpool's obviously nowhere near Knowsley.
See, See, this is the thing as well, though, isn't it? We're listening to the media as well. As much as most things probably...
Oh, yeah.
Some things are probably not as true as thingy, but because the way Wolverhampton's doing what they're doing, they're getting in the... It probably happens all over, but we don't hear about it through the media. Like you
Yeah.
said, it's a hot topic and it engages people. Blah blah blah. It's a thingy. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, it. I don't know, but Preston Council coming out and saying that's crazy. That does
Bad, innit?
baffle me. Yeah, it makes me
But you are right, though, mate. Everything you see on TikTok, the news, social media, it's not true. It's all manipulated for views and algorithms. You know, you've seen it in the past. The news will only ever tell you what they want to tell you. Whatever's happening in the world that's severe is not in the news. It never will be. Do you know what I mean? They let you leak and tell us what they want us to know. Do you know what I mean? About wars or whatever. I've picked up soldiers from the ship over the years. I'm like, I can't believe it. Last week we're flipping an inch away from World War III. And I'm like, what? And I obviously checked the news and it's just Wolverhampton driver went down. You know what I mean? No, you're never going to know the truth, are you? But all we can do is go by what's in the news. You know what I mean? What are you saying, Mark? You got something? You got something to say?
I can't remember what we're going to ask. Something. Oh, that's it. One question. What annoys people? Well, what annoys not you specifically, but people about
Yeah.
Wolverhampton? Not Wolverhampton drivers, about the Wolverhampton badge. What's the main bugbear? Is it cross bordering, the vehicles, drivers not knowing where they're going? What is it?
Right. I'll answer this. For one, right, the out of town drivers, yeah, that happens on any plate. Yeah. So when you're driving to a different city to work, myself personally opinion, I know what they're doing. They're chasing the work, they need the money. I get that. I do.
Yep.
But when everyone chases the work to every location, you kill the work for everyone else. So it's kind of counterproductive in my opinion. And if you drive to Liverpool from Manchester, you don't know where you're going. If you drive from Liverpool to Manchester, you don't know where you're going, right? So that's one of the big gripes with out of town drivers. But with Wolverhampton specifically, I would just say, well, for one, like I said, it has become a bit of a meme, and every time you see a picture or a joke, he's on a Wolverhampton. I seen a video, and it was a guy on a flipping, I can't remember, what, like on a wheelbarrow, and someone put, he's on a Wolverhampton wheelbarrow. Do you know what I mean? It's just become a joke, hasn't it? But it's more as well as the biggest thing I think that's caused the problem with Wolverhampton is when Liverpool, Sefton, and Knowsley were running slow on badges. Yeah, the demand for the taxis were quite good, right? So then when 10 people leave Liverpool, 10 new people come in on Liverpool, Sefton, and Knowsley. So there's a buffer, yeah? So there's an amount of drivers going out and an amount of drivers coming in. There's a nice buffer, a nice flow. It's always been the same, right?
Yep.
Wolverhampton come in, is now coming as a fourth party. So now, through our 3 local councils, to say there's 100 drivers coming in and 100 drivers leaving, yeah? There's now 200 drivers coming in from Wolverhampton who live in Liverpool, but they've gone there because the buffer's too slow there, so they want to speed the process up. And I think that's where everyone says too many drivers now on the private hire game. And I would say it's because
the Wolverhampton.
Because the Wolverhampton's fast-tracked it. Do you know what I mean? They've just fast-tracked the badges, which has flooded the system. Do you know what I mean? You probably know this, Nick. I'm there because you've been on it for years. I've been on for like 6-7 years now. And for years, before Wolverhampton, we've had Sefton, we've had Knowsley. There's loads of councils that have done it, but they've never done it on the grand scale of Wolverhampton, right? And then back in the day, you'd hear queues of Sefton, queues, no one. They're really struggling to chain out the badges. But as the work drops down outside of the councils, drivers leave. You go and get Tesco, they go and leave, go to wagons, whatever. So then there's a flow of in and out. Sometimes it goes up and down, but generally it's always quite well balanced. And now because of the sudden, we can get you loads of badges. Do you get me? What do you reckon, Mick? Do you reckon?
I don't know how they're doing it though. This is the problem because like we were saying before, it's coming down to the point where it's got to be down to the root of the council, the way they're doing things. I haven't got a problem with the driver going to the council where it's going to get them a badge quicker. But then
same.
That's the problem with the council. Liverpool have never come out and said, right, we're taking no more private hire drivers on. Never, and they never will. Do you know what I mean?
They can't.
It's just the process of you've got to pay for this, you've got to pay for that. then you got to wait for your CBS, then you got to do this. What? I don't know. The council giving backhanders at the CBS thingy to get their CRB back quicker. I don't know because what process do you have at Wolverhampton? What's different to Liverpool? So that's got to be the reason.
It's a staffing. So last time I went to Sefton to get one of my badge renewals, I think it was free staff. Not even messing. Free staff processing badges and renewals, right? Last time I heard, I'm pretty sure they've got a factory of like 130 workers processing badges in Wolverhampton. It's like a proper mass-produced like system that they've got going. Do you know what I mean? Just to mass-produce and churn out badges. Do you know what I mean? Wolverhampton's going to be the richest city that we're flipping in the country soon. Do you know what I mean? Well, yeah.
Another one. Talking about councils, have you, your license in Sheffield, Liverpool or Sefton or Knowles or whatever, do they have a central place where you go? Like
No.
say Liverpool Council, have they actually got an office that people can go to?
No.
We go to Unite. We go to Unite, which is like a union that's Monday.
You physically can go somewhere and walk into an office and speak to someone.
Yeah. I can phone them.
In Sheffield, we can't.
Right.
It's all via email or phone call. We physically can't go and speak to someone face to face.
No, we have to book an appointment and things like that if we want it.
Yeah, don't you? We don't. There used to be a central hub office. COVID happened and they've not reopened, and that's the biggest thing that's happening in Sheffield at the moment because things are taking so long. It's like I renewed my badge. I did it on the 21st of July. We're on what we're on now, so it's been a month. It only came yesterday.
Wow.
No, when you do emails, when they do emails, they say they get to you. If it's not urgent, it could take up to 2 weeks or whatever. And then I got an email when we're at now. I got back off holiday on the 1st, so around about the 3rd or 4th, all my thing got mixed up. And about the 4th, they sent me an email saying it's been processed. So they sent me a PDF so I can still carry on working, but I didn't physically have a badge.
Yeah.
That only come yesterday. So that's how slow the Sheffield Council is, and it's a big thing amongst the taxi private hire trade here in Sheffield. That it's massive. They're saying that we pay all these fees, yet we physically can't go and speak to someone. If we went to speak to someone, it could be resolved like that. But the other day, I was on the phone to them for about 2 hours, and I spoke to someone for about 30 seconds, but it took me almost 2 hours to get to speak to someone.
But that's what I'm trying to get at. So let's use Sheffield as an example, right?
Yep.
Just say Sheffield can process 100 badges a week.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
New applicants, get new drivers on the road, 100 per week, right? So on average, just say 100 drivers leave in Sheffield because of multiple reasons. It's a revolving door, this trade, it always has been. People come, give it a month and go, oh, I don't like this, don't like people, don't like driving, whatever. And you go, it's a revolving door. So we're now, Sheffield, or used to be, 100 out, 100 in. Now you got Wolverhampton bringing 200 in with that 100 from Sheffield. Only 100 leaving, 150 leaving. And that's where I think the balance has come out. So I think the Wolverhampton thing, a lot of it is due to that. And it's due to like flood in the market, do you know what I mean? Where we had these buffers back in the day where we don't have them no more. Do you know what I mean? And obviously they are just, it's funny, isn't it? I done the news video about the Wolverhampton thingies, and the amount of Wolverhampton drivers commented, like defending themselves. And I'm like, listen, you don't have to defend yourself. I'm not tarnishing everyone with the same brush. It's just a news article I'm resharing for content. Do you know what I mean? But same again. No, everyone's like, oh, I check my tyres every day. I'm like, get out, sounds happy day. Do you know what I mean?
Maybe we could try and get a Wolverhampton driver on here, and then you can put it all to bed, can't they?
I might have to, innit? Might get a special episode of Wolverhampton driver. How about that?
Yeah.
And I'll be funny, wouldn't it?
Who's brave enough to come on?
Hey, lad, I'm a dead easy host, me, mate. I'm dead chill, me. Honestly, God, I've messaged a few people to come on, like the specials and stuff. And I don't think they want to come on. If they want to come on, I've asked them and stuff, and they've just like, maybe. You know what I mean? But they might think I'm trying to, like, cheap shots or nothing like that. I'm not interested in that. I'm just want to... What?
Interrogate them.
Telling you. Why did you go to Wolverhampton? Why?
Pull the
Yeah.
finger down.
Have you got anything to add to that, Mick, before we call it a day? We're hitting 55 minutes. Actually, this is the longest podcast to date, I think.
No, I just like you touching on. Basically, it's not against any. If we were in a position and we wanted the taxi badge to get on taxis and start working on the taxis, we'd probably do the same, knowing it was going to be quicker to go and get it from there. Do you know what I mean? So I've got nothing against a lad going to get it, because it's the council that you've got to have your grief with, and even more so Delta, because they're the ones that won cross border Ireland. They're the ones that changed the
Yeah,
law originally.
originally back in the day, really.
Yeah.
Because if you think about it, Mick, as well, like you are having a good point. When I didn't know nothing about private hire or taxis at all, and I was like, right, okay, Knowsley, Sefton, Liverpool, okay, and I went Knowsley, and I just literally went to all three councils, and whichever one got back to me first, I was like, oh, sound, and that's why I went with Sefton, and I went with Sefton because they were like, I asked a few people or whatever, they were the quickest. Because I didn't know about anything about cross-border hiring rules or ops licenses or different vehicles with different rules or different councils, do you know what I mean? So I didn't know. So 7 years ago, if there was a Wolverhampton and it was like 6 months, 6 months, 6 months, Wolverhampton, 3 weeks or whatever it was back in the day of Wolverhampton, going back before I knew anything, I might have wanted to jump on Wolverhampton. But one thing I probably would do now, of knowing what I know now, if I was a Wolverhampton driver driving in Liverpool right now, I would go and apply for my Liverpool licence, me, or at least Sefton Knowsley, just in case something goes on in the future where they do drop it down or cut Wolverhampton out. I would definitely, because you can still work while you're doing your training. So why not, while you're still on the road training as your Wolverhampton driver, why don't you go and change your badge? We know John. We know John in my WhatsApp group. He done it, didn't he? He was Wolves and he didn't know, he was none the wise, and he changed to Liverpool. What's your name, Mark?
How long does it take to get a Liverpool licence then, from start to finish, on average? 6
I
months?
reckon about 4 to 6 months, I'd say. And it depends how good you are at passing all the tests.
This is the problem, though, isn't it? That it should be the same with Wolverhampton. I don't get how they're doing that quicker, because you've got to go through you've got to do your knowledge test, you've got to do your medical, you've got to get your CRB back.
I think the DBS is the longest point. So for the Wolverhampton badge, I think you apply for your DBS and then you'll get everything in. They'll get everything done by the time the DBS comes in 6 weeks. I reckon back in the day, I reckon they're well and truly inundated now. You got warnings on the website saying that we are working through. But back in the day when he first launched and you got a massive team behind him, I'm pretty sure the only thing that was slowing you down from getting the badge is the DBS. Because you literally go down and you get your badge and done everything in one day. I'm pretty sure you go down.
That's the same with Liverpool, isn't it? The only thing that slowed me down when I was getting a badge back, when I was getting with them, was waiting for me DBS.
No. If you think about it, you put your DBS out for 6 weeks, right? And then you got to apply and get your 3-day training course. Sometimes that's like a 4 or 5 week wait. Then you get on a 3-day training course to do all your exams and everything else. And then once you've passed that, then you've got to apply for the council to get your part 1 booked in, your knowledge test and your routes. And then sometimes that could take 3 to 4 weeks to get booked in. And then you go and do that. And then once you've got all the stuff lined up, you got your medical in between and everything else, you put it all together and then you apply for the council for your badge. That can take 3 to 4 weeks, okay?
You've just done it in the last, year? It was 14, 15 years ago when I done it, so...
Yeah, back in them days, that's slate, you know what I mean? You had like slate and chalk, do you know what I mean? And you had to do your horse and carriage test, do you know what I mean? Hey.
I'm sure you're older than me.
Hey, I am, that's what you think. Hey, but that's what I'm trying to get at, though. Hey, that's what I mean. So if you just come down and you just apply that, and I would have been in the taxis, and you go, right, okay, do a bit of Googling, and you go, Wolverhampton, yes, you can get it in a box of Rice Krispies, or Liverpool, it'll take you 6 months and loads of exams and loads of training involved. We'll go and buy a box of Rice Krispies. Obviously, that's a joke, by the way, before you start having to go. But you know what I mean? You've got to go for the quicker option. But what a lot of people don't know is, when you're a Wolverhampton driver in Liverpool, right? Mick, as an example, under your operators, can you give a Wolverhampton driver a job?
No.
Can any local airport company that you know of, that we know loads, can give a Wolverhampton driver a job?
No.
That's one thing that a lot of people don't know about. If you can only accept work from a Wolverhampton operator, and no airport transfer company in Liverpool has one, as far as I'm aware. So straight away, from Wolverhampton and Liverpool, there's a negative there. Can you go and get your ops license by living in Wolverhampton? Pretty sure you can't, because you've got to have an address in Wolverhampton to do so. So straight away, these are all restrictions straight away. Do you know what I mean? That
What
people aren't
about-
aware of, by the way.
What about, can you, if you're Sheffield, oh no, Sheffield, I keep going about Sheffield. Right, you've got a Wolverhampton badge.
Yeah.
You live in Liverpool. Can you
Yeah.
go and get a license from Liverpool?
No.
You have to be licensed by Liverpool.
No.
Right.
If you're Wolverhampton badged in Liverpool, you've got to apply to Wolverhampton Council for an ops license. I'm not too sure about Wolverhampton, but you need to be in that area. You need to have an address, a fixed address in the area of the ops. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. Got it.
Do you know what I mean? So that's why people aren't aware. Do you know what I mean? Because like someone like a scouser with a Wolverhampton badge, well, oh lads, can your company send us any work or whatever? And I go, I can't, mate. When you're Wolverhampton place, we've only got Liverpool ops or nosy ops or the Sefton ops. We can only give a Sefton op can only give a Sefton driver, a nosy op can only give a nosy driver. The only way you can work for Uber, and a lot of Uber, everyone can work for Uber, is because Uber's got an operator's license in every city that they work. And that's how they get away with it.
Remember the other day they're saying that what the fella who had the I think it was in your WhatsApp group, to be honest, Matty. The fella said that he had the lad in from the council. And he was supposedly a Merseyside plate was coming.
Possibly. I just can't see because Sefton and Knowsley would have to bring their levels up to Liverpool Council, haven't they?
He was obviously chatting bubbles, wasn't he? Because he said it was going to be done before the season started. It started last week. So whoever he's had in the back of his car has been telling them a load of crap.
Well, I'm pretty sure when I've spoke to people within like Liverpool Council, I'm pretty sure they're pro ending cross-border hire, technically going back the way the Hackneys work. So if you're Liverpool licensed in Liverpool, you can pick up and work in the Liverpool City region. Do you know what I mean? But if you drop off in Bootle, you got to drive back to Liverpool City region empty. Or if you drop off in Knowsley, you have to go back to Liverpool City region. And I said to him, I went, yeah, but if you do that, it's great. I'm Liverpool licensed. It's great. I can work to Liverpool City. But what about the 45,000 Knowsley plated drivers that live in a bit of Knowsley and maybe in Manchester? Are they all going to have to come back to Knowsley? And they were like, yeah. And then they say, what happens then? They're all going to quit. Or they're going to change the badge and reapply.
Do you mean the Hackneys?
No, private hire.
How are they going to
So
do
if the cross-border
that?
hire comes in, if the cross-border hire comes in, like the full-blown cross-border hire, we're going to go back to the day is where you can only work in your licensed region. I don't think it's going to work.
It's not going to. At the end of the day, the private hire, aren't they? If a company, if I'm in Sefton and I phone a Liverpool ops, this is where it's awkward here because we've got 3 councils for Liverpool.
Neighbours, very, very close. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? That's why it's awkward for us. We shouldn't have.
What is Knowsley in Sefton? What is it? Is it a village? What is it?
No, it's a borough. So just say there's Liverpool, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So the city, like not the city of Liverpool. So the city of Liverpool is like this, right?
Yeah.
Even Mick is not in the city. The city's only small. Then outside of the city, yeah, you got Merseyside, which is the like the Greater Manchester, like the county, right?
Yep.
But within the Merseyside thingy is the councils. So the borders are the separate councils. So you got Liverpool Council.
So is it like Sheffield in South Yorkshire with the likes of Rotherham, Doncaster, Leeds? Is that what it is? So
No. It's Sheffield. You know, Sheffield is a city, isn't it?
Yeah.
Has Sheffield got suburbs or like smaller areas with separate councils?
Of course they have. Not with separate councils, they won't.
They've got their own. You've got Sheffield.
Mark, the best way
Do you
to
know what
explain it right is like you've got Yorkshire, haven't you?
My head's blown.
So
I don't know.
Imagine you had. So imagine you. It's hard to explain, really, isn't it? You've got Yorkshire. Imagine you have to go to Yorkshire Council. Imagine your area was Yorkshire, yeah? But then you had Doncaster Council, Sheffield Council, which you have got, haven't you?
Yeah.
Well, you're talking, Mick, you're talking.
Ours are only smaller. Ours are much smaller. Like, we can go, we literally drive 1-2 mile maybe, and we're in Sefton.
No, but the thing is, don't make. No, it's different, though, because Doncaster, Sheffield, and all them, they've got their own cities. We haven't.
No,
that's what I'm saying.
That's the boroughs are smaller, aren't they? Than ours. The reason they've got their city is because Sheffield is huge. It's probably the same size as Knowsley, Sefton, and Liverpool.
That's what I mean. So, like Sheffield, imagine Sheffield now that you live in Sheffield, Mark, right? And you got the city centre here. Then all this is Sheffield, right?
Yeah. And you've got
a north of Sheffield. Say this is called what I have Sheffield North. And then here is Sheffield West, and they've all got their own individual council, but it's within Sheffield.
We don't have that then. No, we don't. We just have one city council.
So if you could go as an example, the best way to do it is Greater Manchester. Greater Manchester is a county, innit? And within Greater Manchester, you've got Manchester City Centre, you've got Rochdale, you've got Salford, you've got all the boroughs in Greater Manchester, haven't you? Yeah. We've got Merseyside, and in Merseyside, we've got Sefton, Knowsley, Liverpool, the Wirral, St Helens.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? But Liverpool City Centre is our main city of the whole county, like Manchester City Centre.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like Knowsley and Sefton hasn't got a city centre. There's just it's a small borough within Merseyside. So Knowsley is more or less, it's a village than a city or a town, but it's within the same region. Do you know what I mean?
This is where the councils, the hub of the councils should only be from cities, Liverpool City, Manchester, etc. As well.
Or even better, counties. Imagine one big Merseyside council overseeing the rules for all suburbs. Greater Manchester, Yorkshire, West Midlands. Do you know what I mean? North East or whatever their council. Do you know what I mean? What?
Yeah, your county is Merseyside then, yeah?
Yeah, and Merseyside's massive.
Manchester's Lancashire, isn't it?
No, Manchester's Greater Manchester. We used to be Lancashire, Liverpool years ago, and then we created Merseyside. So Lancashire is like Blackpool, isn't it?
Yeah.
The Lakes.
Yeah.
Blackpool, the Lakes, so you'd have Merseyside, Greater Manchester, Lancashire up there.
Well.
And then you got Cheshire down there. But I don't know. It is a bit of a tricky minefield, like, it is. But Mick, it's 11:30. What time do you have to leave?
15 minutes ago.
Right, listen, it is 70 minutes. This is record breaking, guys. This is a 70-minute podcast. If you're still here by the end, why? Listen, thanks very much for watching. As per usual, thanks to Mick and Mark, the legends. Give up the time and energy. Is brilliant. Obviously, if you haven't already, make sure you check out our Discord. It's free, and that's a good laugh. Join the membership if you want. $4.99 a month, but you get loads of perks, and it supports the channel, supports the podcast, and everything else. And yeah, make sure you subscribe, like, follow, and everything else, and all the other socials. And yeah, thanks very much for watching, listening, and I'll see you next time. Bye.
See ya.
Wave,
Bye-bye.
Nick. Wave, lad. Bye. Love your team.
I'll do the funny face now and you'll have that on your thing.